Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Apologize for the slight delay. The first item is the land acknowledgement statement. On Tuesday, November 12th, 2024, we acknowledge that this sacred land on which Smiths Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years and is rich in Indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We are grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might meet here today. We are also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in the making of the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smiths Falls. We are mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, being mindful of generations to come. Okay, first item of business is the approval of the agenda.
I might as well just switch back and forth.
All right. Do you move that we
Yeah.
adopt the agenda? You second it?
Then next
Okay.
time it's her turn, that's my
Okay,
turn.
yes. All right. And the same thing with the minutes then?
Yep, same thing.
Yes. Jenny moves, Class seconds, that we adopt the minutes of Tuesday, October the 8th, 2024. Disclosure of monetary interest?
None.
No. Okay, moving on to priority issues. The first item is the motion that we have been working on regarding the property at 361 Queen Street, which currently has a heritage easement attached to it. Inside your package, you have,
The motion.
well, the motion's there. I was asked to send it as a correspondence item to the council meeting. And we were advised that we couldn't vote on this by email, that we needed to actually do it in person. So I'll read it out. Whereas the Ontario Heritage Trust maintains the existing heritage easement at 361 Queen Street, Gallipo Centre, because of the significant cultural and historical context associated with the property, and whereas removing the heritage easement without having another process in place for preserving the heritage aspects of the property could leave it vulnerable to demolition. Therefore, the Municipal Heritage Committee does hereby request that the province defers any removal of the current easement until the town establishes appropriate heritage protections in place. So, somebody needs to move this? And-
Just for discussion purposes?
Yes.
Okay, I'll move
So
it.
Class moves it, Jenny seconded it. I wonder if we wanted, or if we could or should, add anything more specific about the part where it says, until the town establishes appropriate heritage protections.
I think we should, because my feeling is, I'm not totally in favor of the whole thing, to be honest with you, okay? I realize the significance of heritage, and I'm all for heritage and so forth, but it is standing very much in the way of a huge project progress in that. The town established appropriate heritage protection. The town hasn't done that yet, have they?
No, no.
So how can we make an honest decision on this thing until we get advice from the town? What does the town want to do? I mean, here we are making it a huge decision based
Well,
on.
We're advising. We're not
advising.
making a
Okay,
decision.
Okay, sorry. We're advising without knowing what's the town's thoughts on this. Does anyone know what that is? Are they for or against? I mean, they want this thing.
I don't, like, Madam Chair, from my opinion, I don't, like, we as a committee need to make the decision for what we think is best, and council can vote according to what they want. Like, I think we should have our own opinion on it, not dependent on
On the town?
what anyone else thinks.
I would agree with it. Are we allowed to make suggestions and breaking it down, or are we making a suggestion on the package as a whole?
Well, I think we can amend the resolution that before we vote on it. It hasn't been passed. We can amend it, for sure.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, you know, it was said that the appropriate heritage protections would either be a Part 4 or a Part 5 designation. And Part 4 would be just the building, I suppose, whereas Part 5 could be the entire complex.
Well, that's,
And
sorry,
in order to do that, there would have to be research done and a bylaw proposed. And that's what I'm wondering, if we should have something in there like that, that we would request that the town engage the services of heritage consultants to review the easement, the heritage easement, and to make suggestions to the town, to council, as to how to proceed establishing our own appropriate heritage protections.
Madam Chair, I would agree with that, because, I mean, I have an opinion what should be saved and what should not be saved there, but I'm not an expert. Okay? So I would agree that if we had an expert that looked into, I mean, they're stating here, significant culture and historical content associated with, what significant culture and historical content is associated with the property?
Well, right, but I do believe that in the heritage easement document, that's laid out.
Okay.
It is there, so the groundwork has been done. But the province, I assume it's the province,
Yeah, that's the
wishes
province.
to discontinue the heritage easement so that development can happen. Is that correct?
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. Heritage,
When we make a motion like this, we're only suggesting to council what we would like to see in the light of the fact that we are the Heritage Committee. What do you think, Jenny? Should we add something, or what should we do? Or should we bring this up again at the next meeting when we have our council reps here?
yeah,
It might be worth deferring until we
Yeah.
have a full committee.
yeah,
Yeah.
because, no disrespect, but you're getting just opinion from three of us,
It's true.
you
It's
know,
true.
and the council reps that are here will have a strong voice at council. I
That's,
would hope, one way or the other.
well, yes.
They're stating here to maintain the existent,
Whereas
Whereas
they
interior-
maintain it. The whereases aren't the
Ontario Heritage Trust maintain the existing heritage easement, so that tells me that somebody's telling the Ontario Heritage Trust to maintain it. Correct?
No,
No?
you're not, no, that's not the way the wording is intended.
Okay,
It's a statement that
oh, okay.
there is an existing heritage easement. And it's another statement that removing it without having another process in place could leave it vulnerable.
Could
And because of those two statements, the Municipal Heritage Committee requests that the province doesn't just take off the easement and then leave it vulnerable, but that that something else be put in place to protect it once the easement is removed. Because council already voted,
Yes.
they've already voted to advise the province to remove the easement. They've already done that.
Yeah, okay.
So what we were trying to do is say, well, hey, wait a minute, if that's not going to be there, then what will protect it?
Protect it or protect portions of it?
Yes, and we don't know, we don't have, as you said, we're not experts, we
No.
don't. But
No.
if the committee feels today that we should defer this to the next meeting, then we will.
I prefer to defer it.
Yeah, I would too.
Okay,
I
we'll do
agree.
that then.
Yep. Yeah, we need more discussion on this.
Yes, I think we do need the input of of our
Council, yeah,
councillors on this
yeah,
one.
because-
I agree.
What we do, or what the council does, is going to have a huge effect on the future development of that place.
Mm-hmm,
And it's got to be done right.
mm-hmm. I agree.
or else.
Okay, so let's move on then to the Heritage Conservation District update. What do we want to say about that? That the report has been made public?
If I may.
Yes.
So yes, it has been made public. It's been posted. The draft report is now available on the website. There's still some room for comments to come in after the open house that was held on November 7th. So there's a survey now that's out about the draft report for the community at large to respond to the survey. The survey closes on the 28th, and I think it's the intention of the consultants to bring that draft report to council sometime in December.
The open house, November 7th, was it well attended?
No.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think there were a few less people than the first one we had.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, yes. I mean, since you've mentioned that, I'll comment on it now instead of later.
Sure. Mhm.
It was a wonderful setup. There were beautiful display boards, and the Stantec staff were there, along with planning staff, to answer any questions that anybody might have, but there was little interest from the public, very little interest. But as Marie indicated, there is still opportunity for the public to provide input by filling out the survey until the end of this month. And following that, I guess the report will be made final. And also, I'd just like to say that the comments that Carl and I submitted regarding the boundary were listened to, and the proposed boundary, I mean, of course,
Mhm.
and it has been changed based on the couple of comments that we made.
Good.
So that was good.
Okay.
So the process is nearing completion. It's just, there's no more work for us to do as far as I know. It goes to council next, and we'll see what they say.
Okay.
Next item is the symposium summary. Did you mean
So I included
The
in there
budget?
just a brief overview of just a rundown on how the symposium compared over last year. So this year, virtually the same numbers. We were down a little bit by 5 participants, so we had a total of, I think it was 34 attending this year, and it was 39 last year. Just to note that it's some observations I've made is the same participants coming year over year.
Mhm.
And the target audience for 2024 was business and property owners. There was only a few in attendance.
Mhm.
Our budget information, you have that there, so the total cost ended up being roughly $1,500. And I did an email to everybody who participated in this symposium, asking them if they had any suggestions for themes for next year. And I received the 2 that you see there.
Mhm.
So one, to talk about economic benefits of heritage tourism and how we can leverage it. Modernizing historical experiences to draw in more visitors. And the other is learning about people's experiences they had while researching and renovating their old house.
That's good.
Do we,
And on back, some great photos.
do we
Yeah,
know
thanks.
what the balance of our budget would be now? Or is, do I just ask you to tell us that later?
Yes,
Yeah,
thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have that information.
yeah. Well, thank you for that. Next item is Old Home Week, the walking.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just reading it at the same time, wasn't paying attention. I thought the whole thing was very well done. Whoever, all of us did a great job. The speakers were excellent, I thought. They were very good. Not that I'm a fan of John Fennick, but I thought his story about the bridge was very interesting.
Yes, it was.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
And the fact that all the stone buildings in Perth were covered with wood at one time.
Mhm.
Great information. But I'm wondering, though, and I'll just throw it out there, how many years have we done the symposium, year after year after year after year?
Well, they said it was the 12th, and it was missed during COVID. So it's been going on that long.
Due to the fact that we are really down on numbers of memberships, should we skip a year?
Well, it's a lot of work for a very small handful of people.
Yeah,
And, I mean, there are certainly other themes that we could explore. We could keep on coming up with topics. But it would be nice if more people attended.
well, the attendance
Yeah.
went down by 5, eh?
Yes,
That's not
but
bad.
I suppose, but there was room for more.
Oh, yeah, there was room for more. The auditorium is gonna hold a lot more, and the way we had the meal set up and so forth, and that worked out fine. And that, I mean, everything we did, I thought was great. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering,
And it was important this year because we were continuing to promote our desire to have a heritage conservation district. And it was a
right.
follow-up on the symposium the year before, just to, you know, keep the momentum going, as Megan from Stantec said one time. But yeah, your point is well taken. Do you want to comment, Jenny?
I think it would be a shame. I think building on momentum is, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's something that we look at beginning of the year.
Yes.
yeah, I'm just throwing it out there for thought. You know, I mean, I will agree, Jenny, it would be a shame, and the danger of skipping a year, it's hard to start again. You know, so there's pros and cons both ways. I just think we need to take a real good hard look at it.
Marie?
If I may, just based on who's in attendance at the symposium, I think it might be easier if we focused our efforts on those groups and organizations, because it's representatives from heritage groups and organizations throughout the Leonard County and region that's coming to this. And, you know, there's, 5 or 6 people that have just an interest in it
Right.
and attend. So if we focus our efforts more in that regard, I think it might be a more realistic turnout. And maybe more people from those organizations will attend. I think, the money we made is negligible, really. So charging, I don't know what the thought is behind charging, so we'll have to look at that. Just food for thought.
Was there any kickback from the charging we did?
Yeah, there was 500.
No, kickback, people complaining it's too expensive.
No, not at all.
Okay.
But I did notice there was a drop in attendance from the number of people coming from each organization year over year.
Yeah.
Well, I would agree with you that if we focus on who attended and do a study of, what groups attended, we gear our topics towards them.
Right.
That'd be something worthwhile looking at.
Because it's other municipal heritage committees.
Yes.
And municipal staff
Yeah,
and interest groups that are attending that, the Genealogical
Yeah.
Society and so forth.
okay.
Sorry, Madam Chair.
Yes,
To me,
Please.
it's one of the only ways that we have to get our name out there, right? So I would hate to see it,
Yeah,
unless we come up with an alternative of some kind for us to promote ourselves in some way.
Well, it's our public education
Yes,
mandate, isn't
yeah.
it? I suppose
Yeah.
that's why we have it. Although, if people who attend are from other heritage committees, we're not really reaching the public, are we?
If we could replace it with something else that we find more effective, right? It might,
more appealing.
might
Yeah.
not be a bad idea, but
I like that suggestion about people's experiences researching or renovating their old house. See, that's an interesting thing.
Yes.
And if we focused on residential properties, architectural styles, it would be a more general appeal,
Yeah,
I suppose. Anyway,
we
Yeah.
have to next year get a real estate person that is involved in that. We
easy for
tried.
you to say. We
I
tried,
know.
we tried, didn't we?
tried.
We tried,
And
Yeah.
But I'll get after her
wow.
early this year and say, Christian, you have to attend. Too bad. You're not going away.
Marie?
I'm wondering too if it might be worthwhile to invest some money and talk to Algonquin College about having their students all come over. And maybe do we charge or not charge
Yeah.
that, I don't know. So we talked to Sean Thompson about making sure his heritage classes have a way of getting here for them. I think transportation is the issue. I don't know how expensive it is to rent a bus to run. We could also do that for the high school history classes too, for
Yeah.
the next generation.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, for sure. Well, we will talk about it again in January then.
Yep.
I think that's a good idea. So now let's go on to Old Home Week. They have asked us if we would do some walking tours, and I said I would. I'm not sure, it's 1 week, isn't it? Well, I guess it's 2 weekends and a
2
week
weekends, yeah.
in between. So, I guess if anyone else can do the tour as well, that would be helpful.
At the meeting where it was discussed, Councillor McGuire had indicated he would be willing to do some tours.
Oh, good.
The group had indicated that they thought maybe doing them every other day and not every day, and that you would look at committing to that, but you wanted to discuss it further. But maybe this is something else you want to defer until
More members.
Yeah, yeah.
the council.
So, Chair, the question then, the walking tour of our heritage designated areas, correct?
Yeah, pretty well. Well, our properties that we believe are of heritage value, whether they're designated or not.
Right.
That's what we've done in the past. Basically the downtown and the stories about the buildings that we're showing off.
So how far of a walk are they looking at?
Well, I suppose the library down to the bridge. And,
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty good little hike.
it is. And well, I've done it before, and it can take up to 2.5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Because you stop at you stop there, you wait for everybody to catch up, you do your spiel, and then you move on to the next place. I have shortened it, because 2.5 hours is really a bit too long. But
So
then you leave out some interesting stuff.
There is a written script.
I have little cards that I've made,
Oh, good.
but, yeah, we can do that. Well, we have the walking tour anyway,
Yes.
we have this.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Smith Falls Heritage Walking Tour, so yes, there's a
Yeah,
script, and
there's a script right
yes,
there. Perfect.
for sure.
No, I'd be interested in doing that.
Okay, that's great,
Sure.
that's great. So the committee agrees to take that on then,
Sure.
yeah,
McGuire said he would too. All right.
okay, good.
See if I can preach better than him.
Okay, on to project updates then. The Algonquin College project update, which you have a copy of in your package. Very interesting. Looking through the little undiscovered gems that Sean Thompson and his students found while they were surveying that residential area between the arena and the canal and over to James Street. So in the package are the ones that he's highlighted.
Algonquin College project.
Yeah,
So
yes,
there's 2 reports. One is the building stock inventory summary
Yeah.
that was put together by Sean, who is the lead on the project. And then the second package just lists all of the properties that Algonquin College felt warranted more investigation.
mm-hmm.
They visited, I think, close to 400 properties, and out of those 400 properties, there's 34 that they think warrant further investigation.
So we have that information now, and we'll have to decide what we're going to do with it in the new year. We are going to need to talk about properties of interest again, because we already have many on the list, and the clock is ticking on the properties of interest.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to put that on the agenda for the next meeting, talking about that and how we might possibly proceed with the ones we've already identified, because here we have a batch of new ones. And the HCD study has revealed more as well, that very close to the downtown core, that would warrant further investigation. So we thank Sean for that. It was very interesting and useful information.
Yeah, very.
It is, isn't it? And everything that he found out about them is there. Well, no, that's not true. On the in the big database, he has the properties organized by block. So he's numbered all the blocks, and for each property, for each of these properties that are in this a package, he has listed the character-defining elements that would, you know, that if you were going to designate a property, that you would be including in the bylaws. So that's certainly useful. And I'm interested in finding out more about some of these.
A lot of these are very unassuming, so it's
Aren't they?
neat to kind
Aren't
of get
they?
a different perspective.
Yes, it certainly is. Any comments about that?
No, I think that
Yeah.
report is great. It's
Yeah,
very interesting. Some spots I never even thought of.
well, for sure.
Yeah.
That group was very excited to do this project.
The
Very
one house there,
excited.
don't need a paint job.
Okay, next item is the heritage pedestals update. That's yours, isn't it?
So I just wanted to let the committee know that I do have 3 quotes, but I'm still working on putting some sort of chart together to make sure that we're comparing apples to apples when we review the quotes. This was for using metal, there's letters that are done in metal, the plaques, so the warranties range, one is a minimum 10-year and the others are lifetime warranties. Prices so far that I'll just give you a rough idea, are ranging from $2,000 a plaque up to $6,000 a plaque.
Wow.
So that's where it looks like they're coming in, but I should have more information for you at the December or January meeting.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
So, we're on to roundtable. Is there anything that you want to mention, Jenny?
Nothing for me.
Class?
Sorry, nothing today.
Marie?
Thank you.
Well, what a short meeting we've
There
had.
you go. Productive.
Well, we've had to postpone some of our items until
Yeah,
a
unfortunately.
future meeting.
I'll just let Sean know that we're finished so that he can end the.
No, well, let's adjourn first.
Oh,
Okay, next meeting is Tuesday, December the 10th. Same time, same place, and a motion to adjourn. Class, thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Just make sure we're finished on air.
Back to the greenhouse. I got talked into making Christmas baskets,
Not surprised?
hundreds of them.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, probably 250, 275, somewhere in there.
Wow.
And then town of Perth wanted me to make 25-foot long garlands. 8 of them. That's very
That's
kind.
flattering.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Okay, see you folks.
Can I get